So, I wonder what Rosalina... Oh, she gets a 9. So, I suppose that she's pretty much gonna go down for this point, so...
Well, despite the fact that she actually lost about 3 coins due to that red space that she lands on, obviously.
Oh yeah, and also I just realized something, is the fact that certain Bowser spaces have been moved. Well, at least, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure about the fact that one of those Bowser spaces have been removed in one of those spots.
Well, because we actually did manage to recently look back on the forms of the original version of this board, and then basically one of those Bowser spaces have been removed, so...
Yeah, I suppose that might be true in certain scenarios, I suppose, but still, I can't deny it by that, so,
Anyway, so, it looks like that Yoshi's definitely gonna get himself his, next star right now, so, I suppose that might be good for him in some cases anyway, though, so...
So I wonder what's the next star it's gonna be at this time.
Conveniently enough, it's gonna be on the far left of the board.
So I believe Rosalina, she's almost approaching onto it, or Mario, he's almost approaching to the next star, potentially, so...
It could be one of those scenarios, I guess, like a neck-to-neck, whoever gets that specific star space first, so...
But we'll see what happens.
Alright, Boulder Bowl again, but this time we're gonna be able to do the team of 3, so...
Yeah, let's just see if we can be able to actually go all the way to the top, so that might be a little bit more, makes a little bit more... I don't know what you would call that per se, because, again, it has been a very long while since we actually discovered the forms of this minigame right here, or specifically, since we played this minigame after all.
Well, at least ever since about a week ago, actually, Pinky, which I think you're probably able to get confused everybody about this.
Oh, sorry about that.
Anyways, though, so we did manage to somehow win, so that should be good for us.
So, a few things we want to explain while this is going on is the fact that today's day is, of course, the 9th of October today, in this case in 2022 today.
So, about the fact of the matter is, though, happy 13th anniversary, or happy 13th birthday of the release of Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story in the UK.
To be more specifically, the original version of the game, not counting the 3DS remake, because,
well, we have no idea why, that we stumbled across 2 different versions of Bowser's Inside Story every once in a while.
Because I just still have no idea why they somehow skipped over Partners in Time remake though, which I seriously cannot understand how the fact that that seems to be the case, so...
So anyway, so it looks like that Rosalina just got herself not only the forms of the mushroom as you see from that item bag, but also with the forms of, I would say a skeleton key, mind you I didn't pay attention to that at all, but also a Boo Bell, which we've already mentioned this already, that you can able to actually use that item whenever you want to able to decide to use it, and basically you can able to actually steal as stars or coins depending on certain stimulations, so...
Anyways, let's go ahead and steal a star from Mario, because he's obviously in first right now.
So, I highly doubt that Rosalina might potentially try to able to steal some coins from us.
Yeah, because I can assure you that we basically now onto 4 stars right now, so we can pretty much guarantee that we must be able to reach for about possibly 10 stars, if possible.
Well, depending on the forms of some, you know, high rolls we can achieve or something, so...
Oh, that's just great. We now landed on the Bowser space this time, so let's see what specific stakes you might be able to get. Oh, jeez, we lose half of our coins.
Ah, jeez, we lost about 15 of them, so that should be okay, I guess, because obviously we're still on the lead for 4 stars, so I think that should be alright, I guess.
And it looks like that Yoshi just somehow activates the Bowser Laser Coin Beam, or to be more specifically, Bowser Coin Beam. So I believe, I think, describably enough, I think Mario, he's going to be involved in this, I think.
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, they landed on the forms of one of those diagonal spots, so there goes all of his coins.
So, yeah, jeez, that somewhat feels a bit painful, don't you think?
Although, to be fair though, because obviously he's almost gonna catch up, so in regards to the forms to get into first place and stuff like that, which I think, personally speaking, Yoshi did a good move, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, anyway, so let's move on to the next minigame, which is once again 1 versus 3, and this time we're on the team of 1, Ian.
Ah, for God's sake, tug of war again.
But this time we're not going to be doing with the Bowser suit, of course, so...
Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning. Ugh, I hate doing this. Ah, there we go. Thankfully it doesn't go completely painful or anything, because unlike in, you know, the original version, obviously the original version, it was so painful.
And on top of all that stuff, though, you don't need to worry about the forms of the broken, circle pad from the likes of the 3DS counterpart of this, so...
Yeah, for now on, we should be safe for now on, so...
Alright, so it looks like that Rosalina's gonna use the Boo Bell, so to be expected at this point, and sure enough, she will steal some coins to... Oh! Almost first spot. Oh, wait a second, because we land on the Bowser's base on the previous turn, so it makes a little bit sense, of course.
Alright, so Rosalina gets a 4, so she's almost at the actual star space right now.
But the fact of the matter is, though, she will definitely get the star until the next turn, if possible. But either way, though, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, anyway, so speaking of which, for Mario, though, he's probably going to use the custom dice block, and I think he's probably going to land on the lucky space or something like that.
Or, apparently, he landed on the red space, apparently, which, despite the fact that he hasn't got any coins at all, because obviously he got, you know, attacked by the forms of that Bowser coin beam, so...
Yeah, I suppose we should probably, well, let's just say we'll go down, just in case we're able to get something for the lucky space.
And I don't think we can able to actually spend on that particular, little trap of any sort, so I think we should probably skip that for now.
And get ourselves another custom dice block, so I think potentially we're most able to use that for the bank space, as you can see on screen, so hopefully we would...
Oh! Yoshi gets it!
Oh my gosh. I just realized Yoshi's so lucky today.
Oh, there goes the 60 coins into Yoshi himself, so yeah, I wasn't expecting to see that, huh?
Although, because of how the fact that we just... Hopefully we can able to land on that, but apparently Yoshi got there first.
Ah, lucky you.
Anyway, so let's get into Tackle Takedown, and this is from Mario Party 9, obviously. So basically, all you have to do in a team of 1 is the fact that we need to avoid those, other 3 players, and then if one of those 3 players can able to tackle one of the players who is actually going to be, well, taking charge of the rugby ball, and then basically, though, they'll just win or something, so...
And except this time around, though, as you can notice, is the fact that they obviously got the correct theme music, as opposed to the ones in the top 100. Then in the top 100 version of that minigame, for some reason, just used the Mario Party 4 themed music, so...
Again, it doesn't make that much sense to me, though, but, I'm guessing it's because of the limitations of the 3DS's handheld or something like that, so...
It could be one of those potentials, I guess.
Alright, so it looks like Rosalina, she's gonna use her mushroom, so pretty much expect at this point, because obviously she really don't want to get herself the actual low numbers from the get-go, so...
Yeah, I guess that makes a little bit sense as far as I'm usually concerned of how the AI is gonna be able to do this sometimes, you know?
Alright, so let's see what the next star space is gonna be at.
And it looks like it's going to be on the left portion of the entire board while going for the actual, you know, the counter thing, so...
Okay, let's talk about the forms of some other discussions to make, as far as I'm aware.
That, like we mentioned this before, about the fact that we'll save the actual Sonic conversations until likely for this very day. Well, it turns out we can now able to actually mention something related to Sonic the Hedgehog related stuff today.
So, first of all, is the fact that we got ourselves another teaser trailer, but this time around, though, we can actually see of what's about to be happening for the sake of Sonic Prime.
So, as a result, though, our Sonic Prime teaser trailer has been up,
and as a result, though, we are very looking forward to see how that particular series is going to turn out. And as far as I'm aware, it shows us the actual, the 3 characters on screen, specifically Sonic and Shadow, or potentially speaking actually, 4 characters on screen, which we have not only Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously, but also Shadow the Hedgehog after the events of that particular another teaser trailer that shows just Shadow, and of course, we can never forget ourselves Big the Cat, because obviously Big the Cat is now finally returning onto the forms of the actual main cast or something like that,
And on top of all that stuff though, we finally get a chance to see Dr. Eggman on screen. And for we've first seen Dr. Eggman on screen, man, he was actually very accurate too. Especially noticeable because, well, relatively speaking, as far as I've noticed something, that they just somehow managed to able to reuse the exactly same robots as in Sonic Boom. Which, honestly have no idea why they managed to go for that decision, but regardless of such though, we're looking forward to that particular series still, and as far as I'm aware, the release date for the entire Sonic Prime Netflix series is about to be prepared at some point this winter, so yeah, things will be pretty much expected at this point. Well, at least one thing we should probably forgot to mention about this actually, well, since that me and the girls have already managed to point things out, that specifically Rarity, Fluttershy, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Twilight Sparkle of all things, that as far as I've noticed, they've actually pointed things out from that particular YouTube series called My Little Pony, Tale Your Tale, that as far as I'm aware, that, you know, with the forms of Easy, that, you know, from one of those characters in particular, that she somehow actually becomes like me, apparently. Like, as far as I'm aware, in one of those episodes in particular, they just somehow managed to borrow the exactly same concept as my party cannon. Which, as far as I'm aware, as far as you did actually say to me about something, that, Izzy now pretty much got herself the glitter cannon, which is basically like the equivalent to party cannon, except the fact that rather than just sending us, confetti, although instead of that, this time around though, it's just all about glitter, so yeah, I honestly have no words to say, because aside from that specific stuff though, that she behaves exactly like me, except the fact that, well, obviously she's not in pink all over me, so yeah, that basically summarized for this point.
I hate doing this, but regardless of such though, that's why every single time CPUs are always targeting at us, so to be expected right there, so
anyway, so, and another thing I would suffice to tell you, that, spoiler alert, for those who have not seen the films of the Make Your Mark, you know, Netflix series, as far as I'm aware, somehow, in the actual end of that particular trailer, well, we have seen, we've already seen, Chapter 2 already, but it turns out, Twilight Sparkle, she finally makes her return. Yeah, after the events of the films of, well, the Superior Generation 4, which, as far as I'm aware, it does look pretty cool to able to notice that Twilight Sparkle finally makes her return, despite the fact that more accurately it's like, I don't know what you'd call it per se, because it has been about quite a few days since we actually last seen, you know, Make Your Mark series, because as far as I'm aware, that we've actually been a little bit rusty when it comes to likely knowing about, Generation 5 so far, because, well, apparently that's, remember how back in May, that, a lot of, bronies seem to have a lot of mixed reaction for the sake of the forms of all mixed reception, in terms of the forms of Make Your Mark series as a result. Oh yeah, it's probably because of how the fact that, well, usually that, certain animation styles have been a little bit more drastically different than the likes of the movie counterparts.
But I digress, so it looks like we now ended up on the Bowser space again, except, well, obviously we now need to give Bowser 10 coins, so that's not good.
Especially notable because, well, relatively speaking, we're really hoping that we don't want to get involved with that particular Bowser coin bean diagonal section.
So as a result though, it looks like Yoshi just got 5, which is essentially a poor number roll, so
I guess that probably explains that, so
once again 1 versus 3 again, and it looks like we are playing Too Big to Lose It again, so
it feels like we keep on playing this minigame several times now.
Or to be more specifically, 3 times so far in this minigame, so
anyway, so another thing we'd like to explain is the fact that, relatively speaking, there was actually the actual crowdfunder that they decided able to work on something.
That's what appears to be body forms of something related to the Dreamcast Mondo, or Mondo, I think that's what the actual thinks itself is called anyway. Despite it has been a very long while since I actually discussed upon something related to the Dreamcast, but apparently though, the Dreamcast Mondo launches the crowdfunder for next gen of Virtual Memory Unit 2. which as far as I'm aware, it's like the advanced version of the virtual memory unit from the likes of the actual regular Dreamcast accessory, with all that memory cards alike. Except as far as I've noticed is the fact that the VM2, as far as what it's usually called anyway, does have some bit of interesting changes here. Although we'll get more in a second, because it looks like Mario just used the jump call, and somehow he's gonna move the star space. So, yep, except this time around though, Toadette is now involved for able to get munched by chain jumps after, you know, in Mario Party 4, that's Toad, Boo, and Goomba, Koopa, Shy Guy, and Mini Bowser, or Koopa Kid in North America, they obviously already get munched by the forms of, well, the actual chain jumps since in Mario Party 4. So, yeah, it's a bit painful to able to see Toadette get munched after all. And speaking of kind of a shame, that it looks like this is going to be a final farewell to Yoshi's coin value. So in this case though, after all, that he managed to land on the bank space in the past few turns, so it looks like say goodbye to his coins, because it looks like he's going to get beamed. Yep, there goes all 117 coins to himself. So I guess that Mario does manage to make himself as a nice little move right there, as far as, you know, trying to able to not let Yoshi steal a star or steal so many, anyone else's coins for this matter. So I think that's a genuine good move right there, Mario. I gotta give you some credit for. So anyway, so it looks like the star space is now moved onto the top left corner. So potentially we got enough space movement. So that way we'll get ourselves another star. So I think potentially we'll buy ourselves the skeleton key just in case if there are certain situations that needs to be involved with this. And on top of all that stuff though is the fact that, well, exponentially speaking, that originally we were expecting to able to steal some coins from Yoshi, but of course his coins is no longer there anymore because of the Bowser Coin Bean event. So potentially we'll get ourselves our 5th star, so in this case though we're now on to 5 stars, so... Alright, so let's see what the next star space is going to be moved to someplace else, and it appears to be, almost right near to where Boo was. So as far as I'm aware, the actual star space locations in this version of Spaceland, it's pretty much exactly the same as the forms of how it does it in the original version, that's for sure. So, yeah, it's a little bit of more of the same, so nothing different from there. So, oh wait a second, as far as I'm aware, we were originally going to be able to actually go down here, but because of how the fact that, well, we decided able to save the skeleton key up for later, so... yeah, we have no idea why we actually decided able to ignore that gate this time, just because of how the fact that, well, we're just trying a little bit more strategic around here, so... Alright, so it looks like Yoshi just somehow decreased that particular counter twice, because obviously with that specific loop direction, so... I guess that makes it pretty obvious for the sake of time right there. Alright, so let's see, 4-player minigame, so let's see what new minigame are we going to be playing next. Or in some cases though, we're going back to Book Scram again, which, that's fine, because obviously this minigame rocks, so... Anyways, let's talk about the forms of the VM2, in this case Virtual Memory Unit 2, is the fact that they obviously have some new features this time around when it comes to that particular model. That is the fact that they obviously upped up the resolution for this LCD screen this time. So it's now going to be 128x64. So in this case though is the fact that the actual screen resolution is a little bit more nicer than the forms of how it does in the original. And on top of all that stuff though, the screen backlit, which can be switchable, if depending on the forms of, you can either decide able to turn on, you know, backlight on or off, depending on your stimulations, I suppose. And also the microSD card storage, so that you can able to actually add in your memory and stuff like that, which has always been welcoming. And also, 1x VMU internal memory, so I'm guessing it's kind of like the similar thing as the forms of how it does it on the original model for that matter, even though it has been a very long time for not only knowing about the Sega Dreamcast, but also a very long time since we've last played the Sega Dreamcast because, well, we're still kind of worried about the forms of that stupid random resetting problem again, so... yeah, because as far as I'm aware, imagine if we decide to do Sonic Shuffle in the future. Basically though, we're gonna have to worry about the forms of that stupid random resetting problem. And I'm hoping that as far as, let me know in the comments down below for the actual specific topic about the forms of Sonic Shuffle. Does the game autosaves every time the turn is ended? Because let me know, because either way though, if it does, then we can probably do it. However though, if it doesn't though, we're going to wait for a very long time until when we solve that stupid solution issue, so... Anyways though, and the next thing they did put us into when it comes to VM2, this one appears to be by the forms of high capacity internal battery, so... This means about the fact that the battery might actually last a bit longer, I believe, although I may be wrong. And also there is USB charging, and also USB PC connectivity, and also PC memory management, and original audio support, switchable by the way, and finally original cap reproduction. So as a result though, yeah, it seems all interesting whenever we see the actual VM2 that it looks exactly like the original VMU, except the button colors are now a little bit different. So instead of like purple-ish colors, so instead it's now going to be pure black. So no idea why they come up with this choice, but either way though, it knows what it is, I guess. Alright, so here we have the next minigame, and this appears to be Spotlight Swim, and this is obviously based off of Mario Party 3. So 3 players needs to able to, you know, shine the single player at the same time, by the way, because if you somehow manage to able to do with like 1 light or 2 lights, it will not work. So only all 3 of those lights at the same time will work. And as far as I'm aware, the single player needs to swim away for those searchlights, so... And basically though, that's how you're essentially gonna do for this minigame, so... Not much else to talk about because, relatively speaking though, but we'll say that the water textures do look a bit nice, especially noticeable because, well, relatively speaking, this is on the Switch after all. So what is up with the forms of any console Mario Party games, specifically in Mario Party 10 alongside with the forms of, you know, Super Mario Party and Superstars for this matter? They obviously do have the best water textures I've ever seen in a Mario Party games like this. Well, because to be expected, that's, you know, this is all in HD, high definition, so as a result, though, the visuals do look very cool looking, so... But regardless of such, though, we did somehow win the Spotlight Swim, and accept the fact that rather than just take a ride on that particular ladder thing, unlike the original version, so instead, we just simply hang on to the actual, the fishing hook, and that's pretty much about it, so... Alright, so it looks like Mario's gonna go down here, so potentially trying to get himself his freebie item of any sorts. And exponentially, he gets himself a custom dice block. So, I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this, potentially speaking, is the fact that, you know with the forms of, Famitsu, magazines and stuff like that? Oh yeah, what about these? It's the fact that, relatively speaking, Sakurai is now got replaced by the forms of Toby Fox, as far as I'm usually recall. Even though I have no idea why I'm somehow questioning about this, personally, just because, well, relatively speaking, though, it's just the fact that, well, we were gonna try to discuss on something, like, entirely new, or anything else for this matter, though. But it's just the fact that, well, relatively speaking, though, there's not much right to home about when it comes to mentioning other things worth knowing for, apart from, you know, still very excited to see, you know, Sonic Prime and stuff like that to able to now become a fruition, so... But expecting to able to be releasing until this winter, like I said before, but we don't know exactly when it comes to winter. It could be either be sometime this year, even though it does manage to say winter 2022, but then, well, we'll have to wait and see. So either way though, in fact, let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. Are you guys very looking forward to able to actually, hopefully we can able to get a chance to see Sonic Prime once that particular Netflix series comes out? Because I'd like to hear your thoughts, so... Anyway, so let's go and get to it with the battle minigame. And speaking of the battle minigame, here we have Trace Race. And this is obviously based off of Mario Party 4. So basically though is the fact that we need to trace carefully onto those specific lines. And then basically though, if you miss any of those specific lines, then your points will decrease or something. So... And obviously this time around though with not only gorgeous visuals, but also the correct music as well. Because, well, for whatever reason in the Top 100 version, they just somehow choose the music based off of Mario Party 7 instead.
Yeah, because again, due to the limitations of the 3DS or something like this, so... Because seriously, I just understand why that this game did it so well, that better than the forms of how it does it on the top 100, in regards to the forms of the sales numbers. Because as far as I'm aware, because the reason why the top 100 is the worst selling Mario Party game ever, clearly because of the forms of the 3DS is almost ending its lifespan. And because of this though, they just have no idea why they choose the 3DS system to begin with. Which, as far as I'm aware, because until likely in 2021 and beyond, that's the perfect example of why Mario Party Superstars is actually doing so well for sales numbers, because, well, it's a lot better than the top 100 in my opinion. Well, because I understand why, that's, relatively speaking though, that a lot of people seem to own the Nintendo Switch nowadays, so... Alright, so looks like Yoshi doesn't get the item because he doesn't have enough coins, so... Alright, so here we go with full player minigame again, and it looks like we're going to... Oh no. Here we have the returning minigame for Mario Party 2, which is Sneak and Snore. Oh boy, I have no idea why they bring this back. And no matter what though, they just somehow makes this version 10 times as worse. Because remember the forms of the sensitivity with the control stick when you're trying to stop and stuff like that and hide in a barrel? Well, as far as we look back on the original version though, at least it's a bit okay despite control's sensitive issue, but now it's gonna make things a lot more worse in this version because, well, imagine this, right? If we somehow manage to go across the switch or something, and then basically though, if we try to stop and let go of the control stick whilst the bubbles burst out, and if we let go, for some reason, it never seemed able to hide in a barrel quite quickly, so... Yeah, unfortunately, and also I'm unhappy to report that this version of Sneak and Snore does not improve at all. But aside from the good visuals though, but aside from that, yeah, I have no idea why this minigame is still a bit of a downgrade to any forms of how it does in the original version. Oh, snap! Oh, so screwed up when it comes to Rosalina on her part. But at the very least though, Yoshi did somehow make it to the end anyway, so... Oh yeah, as far as I'm aware, since I believe the game tells us that we are on second place, so we still get some coins technically, so... Yeah, I guess it's that, but I'm very disappointed how Sneak and Snore does not improve than the likes of how it does in the originals though, in my opinion, just because, well, the control problems, so... Anyway, so let's see what Rosalina's gonna do. Obviously, she got her next star, of course. So it looks like she's almost gonna caught up, so we definitely need to stop her somehow before we're able to go into first place the whole way through, but we'll see what happens there. Actually, this might actually help, because as far as I'm aware, then I'm pretty sure we're getting close to the star, so yeah, we are definitely quite close to the star exponentially, so... Yeah, at least we are getting there, so... Alright, something's worth mentioning, unlike the forms of the original version of that particular counter thing, with that number 1 symbol on there, it's no longer red on this new version of Space Lands because it's still on green, because unlike the original version, that every number is always in green, like 5, 4, 3, 2, but in 1 and 0, they obviously all colored red, meaning that some negative things were about to happen for you, so... Yeah, I've honestly have no idea why I've managed to questioning that, so... Anyway though, so let's see if we can able to get ourselves a good old dice roll, so I think this will do the trick. So that means we're now on the 7th star, so either way though, we can pretty much not to spend on this particular snippet's trap, so instead, we'll spend on the star. So, anyway, and another thing we'd like to explain, in regards to the forms of something related to Sonic the Hedgehog, is the fact that we recently received some information about the forms of the frame rate details on the forms of the majority of any platforms, ranging from PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch so far. We're not exactly sure if they're able to actually include the Xbox systems throughout, but we'll see what happens in the next few days and beyond. Or especially noticeable, we still only got about a month left now until Sonic Frontiers comes out. So anyways, let's get ourselves the mushroom in Winner's Wheel. So
it feels like that we've actually keep on getting some of the easy item minigames, I'm sure enough. But we still haven't come across into the final 2 minigames yet, in terms of item minigames as far as I'm concerned. But don't worry though, we'll get to those eventually, so... Aw, darn you, Yoshi.
Yeah, why would you do this?
Yeah, don't giggle at us, you coward.
I mean, nothing to be a coward or anything, but we do like you, but it's just that, well, I've honestly no idea why you decided able to target us for,
Oh, I know why. It's probably because we are approaching onto the star space. Actually, no way. We could probably able to, like, get rid of that effect if we somehow manage to able to use one of those items, actually, so...
Oh yeah, good thinking there, Pac-Man.
But we'll try to do that after hide and sneak first, so...
So anyway, as far as we've double-checked on the actual, the frame rate, solution, or resolution for this matter, that, although it might not be confirmed, apparently, for certain, speculations as far as I'm aware, that they did say about the fact that they did say, according to developers from Sonic Team, Sonic Frontiers resolution and frame rate for each console will be, first off, PlayStation 5 can obviously have a choice between 4K with 30 FPS or Full HD, which is essentially 1080p, 60 FPS. So as a result, though, very similar to the forms of how it does it on, well, let's just say Crash 4, It's About Time. That basically, though, it does have a nice frame rate on the PS4 version and the PlayStation 5 version, as far as I'm aware. And also on the PlayStation 4, though, that on the PlayStation 4 version of Sonic Frontiers, it was expected to able to run on 1080p. Well, specifically Full HD and 30 FPS throughout. Although, unfortunately though, the Switch version, much like the forms of how it does it on Sonic Forces, alongside with Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Colors Ultimate, and especially noticeable with Pac-Man World Repack, for we've noticed that already from the get-go, that apparently though the frame rate is going to be still locked at 30 FPS, and on top of all that stuff though, in Sonic Frontiers, the resolution is going to be 720p, just like the forms of how it does it on Sonic Forces, and you know, Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is a bit of unfortunate per se, because as far as we've saw the gameplay footage on the Switch version in the Tokyo Game Show, that it seems to be running pretty alright. So it's a bit of unfortunate that the frame rate is actually getting a little bit more dipped down more than anything, so it's a bit of unfortunate, you know. Oh yeah, I should also mention about this is the fact that, unfortunately though, for the 3DS and the Wii U though, is the fact that several of services in regards to the forms of both not only Facebook, but also Twitter as well, for specifically both on the first off, the actual image sharing is no longer going to be able to be continuing, because as far as I'm aware, the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U share image share service will have some discontinuation. So I think it's about to be happening at some point on the 25th of October. So as a result though, yeah, I'm not too pleased about the fact that this particular stuff is about to go away. So yeah, it seems kind of unfortunate because, relatively speaking, that, well, alongside with the Wii U and the 3DS eShops, that it's so unfortunate about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that those servers is about to close down. So, yeah, because first of all, they'll decide able to close down the, not only the image share services for both the Wii U and 3DS, which is about to be happening at some point on October 25th this year, and on top of all that stuff is the fact that the actual emphasis on, you know, you can no longer link up into your Facebook or Twitter account to your Nintendo account for the sake of, what classified for saying on the Wii U and 3DS potentially? Although we haven't exactly got the idea about the forms of what this is going on, because as far as I'm aware, it's only targeting on the 3DS and Wii U for sure, because obviously they decided able to move on to the Nintendo Switch for the majority of the life. So I guess that makes it pretty obvious for the sake of time. So anyways though, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So it looks like that Yoshi has managed to claim himself
the special card, which in some cases though he got himself the hidden block card, which, as I mentioned this before, similar to the forms of how it does it on Super Mario Party, that basically you can able to actually use the hidden block card at any point. So yeah, that might be helpful though, especially noticeable. You can either get stars or coins depending on the forms of the 50-50 chance between the two. At least as far as I'm aware, as far as I can usually tell for this point, so... But I digress, so looks like that we somehow gonna get our coins taken again, but thankfully that our star has not been taken because obviously Rosalina doesn't have enough coins to able to do so. Although she now got enough coins so that she will definitely steal a star eventually, so... Alright, so let's see what Mario's gonna do. He's probably gonna use his custom dice block. I'm guessing he's gonna land on the lucky space. Which, as far as I'm aware, yes it is, because I can definitely guess it on top of my head. And also, he buys himself the golden pipe, because obviously that he was in 4th place right now, so he definitely needs able to catch up at some point, so... Although, to be fair though, that he does manage able to obtain himself the actual star from the hidden block, which is always a lucky reward, I guess, so... Anyways though, so let's see what we can get. Oh, I don't think that's going to be enough for able to make our way there, but I'm hoping we can able to escape from here though, so I don't think that anyone else is probably going to be able to make a way to the actual, the laser coin, the Bowser coin bean diagonal section, so that should be alright, I guess. Okay, so Yoshi gets a 10, and also he receives some more coins, so I guess that's that. Yeah, thanks to that particular hidden block card that he managed able to use by himself. So, as far as anything else we'd like to mention, I actually gotta think about it, we'll wait on that in a second, because here we have another new minigame we can play. This what appears to be Bumper Balloon Cars. And this is obviously based off from Mario Party 2, where basically all you have to do is basically we need to pop anyone else's balloons on the back of the forms of the actual controlled car, and that's all you have to do. So basically though is the fact that the controls might take a bit of a while to get used to at points, but when you get the hang of it though, it might not be too bad. Although sometimes the minigame just ended up very fast, so... But relatively speaking though, there's not much right to harm about in this minigame, so... Yeah, we somehow win, somehow. Anyway though, so... Oh yeah, and another thing too is the fact that officially that Amazon just somehow officially announces there's going to be a live-action series at the moment, which appears to be body forms of Blade Runner 2099 live-action series. So yeah, I have no idea why they managed able to announce that, but since we've technically heard about the forms of the you know, Blade Runner 2047. But unfortunately though, we haven't exactly looked upon that particular film as much, just because, well, back in the day, that you did tell me that you went to see, you know, My Little Pony the movie 2017, so... Because, like what, I believe Tiana has mentioned about this already, in addition to Maxie as well, during the course of, you know, since that Tiana, she now recently finished up with her Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color, most likely. And on top of all that stuff, though, with, you know, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, that, you know, My Little Pony the movie 2017 has officially... Excuse me for my manners. So, anyway, so let's activate the actual Bowser, coin beam, so that way we can able to zap Yoshi again, so... Yeah, it feels like that Yoshi's gonna have himself as a pretty tough situation. But anyway though, yeah, because that film has now been out for 5 years now, so as a result though, that's, well, we still enjoyed it though, despite how most critics think about the fact that it's very underwhelming for certain critics, but I honestly disagree, so... Anyway, so 2 stars in 1 turn again, so because not only do we get ourselves 1 star from that dangerous diagonal path, but also we got another star onto that specific left route on that specific section, as you can see. So I believe now the next star space is going to be just before the bank space, so... I don't know who's going to make it though, but I'm guessing that, well, Mario doesn't have that much coins though,
But either way though, we'll buy something like, I don't know, a triple dice I guess.
Just in case we're able to actually hopefully guaranteed able to get ourselves the running star in certain cases though.
Although, potentially speaking, it's all depending on random selections of bonus stars, unfortunately though.
But we'll see what happens there, Pinkie Pie. We'll have to wait and see, so...
Alright, so Yoshi gets an 8, and because I get the strong sense of feeling he's probably gonna land on the lucky space, kind of thinking about it.
Because obviously he really wants to get his coins back.
Or in some cases though, he gets another custom dice block, so that should be alright for him.
Alright, 1 versus 3 again, and let's see what minigame are we playing next.
Money belts again, except this time we know on the team of 3 side, so...
But I highly doubt that we probably will get lesser amount of coins, but that's okay, because as a result, that previously we've already got 30 coins on the team of 1 side, so
yeah, I guess that makes it a little bit more obvious for the sake of time.
But I digress. And sense about the fact that we'll have ourselves an easier time on this in the team of 3, just because obviously we have ourselves a bit of a wider room, or the wider space, that way we can able to actually avoid not only certain cookies, but also, you know, biscuits as well. Or sweets, and cookies for that matter, so...
I just realized everyone else actually got 20 coins.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Especially noticeable we actually got the exactly the same value of coins that we've got. That's interesting.
Alright, so last 3 turns, so let's see what Rosalina's got. She got a 9. So, I believe she'll probably able to actually get herself not only, well, I wasn't paying attention just because, well, again, I was a bit distracted by the forms of other news and stuff like this.
Oh, and another thing too, is the fact that, relatively speaking, that not only that Tokyo Game Show just somehow managed able to show us some more gameplay footage of not only Sonic Frontiers, but also about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that we're actually getting ourselves another overview trailer for not only for the sake of the forms of Resident Evil 4 Remake,
but also Resident Evil 8 Village Gold Edition is going to be revealed.
And I think that particular addition to the game is going to be coming until the 28th of October, just before Halloween is about to be in existence, so...
Yeah, and speaking of Halloween though, is the fact that also during that time, you know, with Luigi's Mansion 3,
that that game is going to be out for about 3 years ago now, so... really? Obviously you're always going to choose us.
Instead of anyone else for this matter though. But either way, we'll let him steal our coins, specifically 9 coins, but that's okay.
And also on top of that, he lands on a red space as well, so that might be, seems a bit unfortunate for Mario's case, but regardless of such though, we'll use our cool triple dice, so...
And either way, we get ourselves not only 8, 9, and 10, so that makes 27.
Yeah, 27 indeed.
And hopefully we get ourselves the 10th star.
So 10 stars in this entire board so far.
That seems like a broken record, kind of thing about it.
Well, usually because, relatively speaking though, that sometimes we always able to compete against with harder computer players because, you know, up for the challenge, I guess.
So now the next star space is going to be on the left side of the board again, so... I guess it's a bit further away, dare I say, so...
Let me think of something. Let me go ahead and activate the skeleton key, and yes, as we promised, I think we should probably go down here this time, so...
Yep, on top of that, we're able to steal some coins to Rosalina, because she actually got the most out of it at the moment.
And it looks like, since about the fact that Rosalina was actually on the dangerous diagonal section,
so I believe we could potentially try to able to add up a bit of strategy here.
That way we don't need to worry about the forms of star stealing when it comes to Rosalina herself. So, we figure, not only do we able to actually go around this particular pavement once,
but not twice, but not 3 times, but 4 times,
that not only does it usually screw up Rosalina, but also Yoshi as well.
Because, let me tell you, the movement space movements that we've actually gone through, it's actually kind of impressive.
So, because, you know, 27 is a good number.
So there it goes, the Bowser coin beam activates again.
Except this time that Mario doesn't get involved, which, that reminds me, Mario got very lucky for able to not get involved on this part.
In that way, potentially, say farewell to all of your coins to not only Yoshi's, but also Rosalina's as well.
So potentially speaking, that Yoshi lost about 20 coins,
and Rosalina's case, 69.
And exponentially though, that I don't think that some players elsewhere is probably gonna make it to the star anytime soon, so...
I guess that makes the right move, I guess.
Oh, speaking of which though, here's another triple dice we can probably aim for in rollout for barrels again, so...
I think relatively speaking, rollout for barrels is easily one of the easiest item minigame by far, just because if you memorize where the items were, then you deal with it no problem.
But, yeah, because as far as I'm aware, the only minigames that do not return when it comes to item minigames in Mario Party 2 that was based off from, which are, Coffin Congestion, alongside with, Hammer Go Mallet, I think that's what it says, or Mallet Go Round. Yeah, that's what the minigame is called, by the way, in, Mystery Land in Mario Party 2 when it comes to item minigames and such.
And before we get into more details onto that,
oh, of course we got Sky Pilots again, except now we're gonna be teaming up with Mario, so...
And we still need to deal with flapping the wings again, so which is easily the hardest job, but hopefully we're able to guarantee we can able to... Maybe we're able to actually aim for a new record this time?
We're not exactly sure, Pinky, because it's all depending on this very last section that we always get pushed back by those cannon shots, so...
Yeah, I guess you probably get the idea about that, so...
Anyways though, aside from all that stuff though, oh yeah, let's get back to forms of certain item minigames that do not return from Mario Party 2. That, as far as I'm aware, one of those minigames in particular, which is, like I said before, Coffin Congestion, alongside with the forms of Mallet Go Round, and Give Me a Break, and finally Bowser Slots, as far as I'm aware.
Just because it's a good thing that Bowser Slots do not return at all, just because of how randomly luck-based that minigame that is.
And as far as Mario Party 3 is concerned, well, as far as I'm aware, they do not return the forms of Dory Dip and Hey Batter because I found that minigame kind of a bit random sometimes.
And also, say applies to Swing and Sweep, and also, what else is there in Mario Party 3?
I know it has been a very long while since I actually last played Mario Party 3, but as far as I'm aware though, I think one of those minigames, in terms of item minigames...
Oh, and also Rosalina lands on the red space, which it doesn't seem to be able to happening on the coins effects, because obviously she has none of her coins at all.
And it looks like Mario got himself the, well, a skeleton key, basically.
And I think we should probably be able to use ourselves the triple dice set, so just in case we'll make our way to the next star. So 10, 4, and 6 makes 20.
Tell you what though, Pinky, we basically dominated for this entire board, do I think about it?
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, in addition to, you know, think about certain strategies that we actually did pull this off,
but also with the forms of a very good dice rolls that we keep on getting. So, yeah, it will be a definition of our running star indeed, so...
Alright, so let's see what the next star space is going to be at this time, and it appears to be at the beginning of the board almost.
So, anyway, aside from all that stuff though, I think that's as far as we can talk about for this, today's discussion there, folks. I mean, surely we would like to able to mention something a bit more, but aside from that though, yeah, that's all I can say about it.
And of course we somehow got involved with the event space again, so this means we're about to get stuck somehow.
Alright, so let's see what Yoshi gets. He gets a 4, and he's probably gonna land on the lucky space again, because he was so desperately want to get himself some of these coins back.
Understandably so, because obviously he's a little bit behind right now, like he was in 4th place right now, so understand, so, or understood, I should say, so.
Alright, 1 vs 3 minigame in Archer Rifle again, so let's see if we won't be able to get screwed over this time, so.
Well, we shall see, so.
Ah, we out.
That's just terrific, huh?
And obviously Mario's out as well, so come on Yoshi.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, I guess.
Come on Yoshi, come on.
What are you doing?
Oh, I can't believe that happened right there. Ah.
Winner.
Fine, whatever. We'll take a loss anyway, I guess.
It's kind of annoying, honestly, whenever you think to yourself that for cheering for, you know, any other computer players, but then next you notice is the fact that, well, they just stand completely still like nothing else. Like, that's seriously dumb.
But anyways though, the last final turn for the sake of the forms of, well, Spaceland. So,
yeah, I think there's only 3 minigames that will not make a return in terms of, you know, item minigames based off of Mario Party 3. Like you said before, Swing and Sweep and Dory Dip and Hey Batter Batter will not make a return at all. So I guess that makes it a little bit obvious that we actually gain some half from the likes of returning minigames from Mario Party 3 or something. So,
and yeah, like what Pinkie Pie has already mentioned about this before, oh sweet mother of gloriness, we finally got the bank space.
Despite the fact that we only get to take 28 as opposed to 60, which we were to attempt to, but because Yoshi got very lucky right there,
that also means about the fact that we can pretty much guarantee that we'll have to let him get away with that.
Oh yeah, so speaking of which though, is the fact that when it comes to bank space, like I said before in yesterday's video, that basically, if it reaches to the last 5 turn events, as you can see, you have to now pay 5 coins every time you pass the bank.
And then if you land on a bank space, then you receive them, so...
yeah, which also applies onto one of those specific mini-games, or specific boards, for this matter, from the likes of the forms of you know, not only for Mario Party 2 boards,
but also Mario Party 3 board as well, so...
because as far as I'm aware, in Mario Party 1 boards, they obviously do not include the bank space after all, so...
Alright, Dingo Derby again, so hopefully we would be able to win this time, because last time we got swiped by the forms of other 3 players, so I think we should probably accept this fate or something.
And also I just realized that no one actually lands on the chance time spaces, or no duel minigames to be active either, so...
yeah, because it seems very obvious about the fact that obviously we are basically dominating for this.
I can imagine about the fact that if the chance time spaces comes into play, sorry for a little bit of a tongue twisting in the end, every pony, but that's because I was trying to say something, but next you notice I seem to rush a little bit. So I can imagine about the fact that if someone lands on a chance time space, and then if the trade star system comes into play, basically though, we will seriously get butt kicked, so...
alright, so we got ourselves a new record, which is 22, matches the actual number for the sake of 2022 or something, so...
well, despite the fact that, well, relatively speaking though, we actually almost getting very close towards the very end of 2022, if possible, so...
alright, so shopping bonus. Whoever receives the most items during the forms of the shopping, whoever gets the star. So in some cases though, we actually got ourselves the shopping bonus.
And on top of that, Rosalina also got one as well, so how's that for that?
Alright, next we have is eventful bonus. So I'm not exactly sure who's gonna get this star.
Rosalina somehow got it, so as a result, unfortunately we didn't get it, so
none of our achievements have been collected. Sightseer, which I think Sightseer is basically the running star equivalent to this game. So in this case though, we somehow got it.
Yep, thanks to forms of some amazing dice rolls, we pulled it off.
So yeah, we somehow dominated this entire board, just like the forms of how it does in the original version, so...
that's all good and fine and dandy and everything. So there goes Yoshi.
And there goes Mario as well. And so applies to Rosalina as well. So potentially speaking, Wario is once again the main, you know, space patrol ever since in Mario Party 2.
Except there's no Black Hole Bowser to be found, so instead we get ourselves a nice souvenir picture, looking all proud and all that stuff, while Yoshi got zapped by the forms of the Bowser coin beam while his coins got scattered.
Although once in a while, Rosalina just got her random item, in some cases a mushroom in some cases,
and Mario somehow got completely shocked by that.
So, in some cases though, 13 stars we've gone through. That seems a lot of stars that we've actually got. So let's take a picture right here on the capture screen.
And of course, let's have a look at the detailed results here.
Yeah, it looks like we got 511 coins that we've actually gone through.
And as far as the hidden blocks are concerned, both Mario and Yoshi technically, because Yoshi uses the hidden block card.
So both of those characters do somehow manage to come across into that hidden blocks, so...
And we've actually used 13 items between both Rosalina and us, so...
If the item bonus comes into play though, we'll definitely get it.
And there's the actual, the running star or sightseer, so everything else will be come together. And,
also, I'm pretty sure we actually,
oh jeez, we off by 2 event spaces right there. We could have gotten that.
But apparently though, we somehow got distracted by obtaining stars, so I can imagine.
And if Bowser's space bonus comes into play, then basically though is the fact that we were able to get that star.
Because we somehow landed on that twice, so...
Yeah, as far as I'm noticing that from the start, so...
Anyways, let's check the actual graph. So look at how ridiculous the line it gets for that graph.
So I suppose that's pretty much about it in terms of Spaceland. So not only do we receive even more coins,
but also we can finally get a chance that we will definitely see that we've now reached up to our full level cap, level 99.
So unfortunately it doesn't go above 100, so at least we got something new,
alongside with more achievements as well. So with that being said though, I think we should probably end things off here, so join us next weekend for more of Let's Play of Mario Party Superstars.
Is the fact that we are moving on onto the third board in the game, which is based off of Mario Party 1.
In some cases though, we're going into Peach's birthday cake, so this will be specialty. So I'll see you guys on next weekend.
Later fellas.